Good morning, Internet, and welcome to not sure if this is a tech tip video or just a game tip video, but a comment was made by Mayor O asking about a sandbox and debug mode. So I thought we'd come back here to the disease pigpen and kind of show the differences in what they're used for. So to enable sandbox mode, you go into options, you go into game, and then you have a box that says enable sandbox tools. It then gives you a warning asking, are you sure? Do you want to save a backup? So that's sandbox. You then get a box on your base, and this save will now permanently be a sandbox save. Boom, you click that, and now you have options. So in sandbox mode, you can brush in material, pick up whatever you want. We'll call it water. Let's say we'll put in 500 kilograms. You can see how big the brush is, so that's how much water it would put in. So we can bring that down to 2, and you see that's actually 5 tiles. So where's a good place? Right here. So when you do that, bam, you then get 5 tiles of 500 kilograms. And do the same thing for, let's say, igneous rock. Boom, big chunk of igneous rock. Now if you notice, the dig still just digs. You can hit destroy to destroy that tile. Bing, get rid of all that. You can sample stuff. So if you want to sample that polluted water, it then tells you all the information about it. So you can sample something and then brush it. Fill is exactly what it seems like. It will take everything of that type, bam, fill it in. Sample we covered up. Heat gun. You want to put some heat into something? Bam, makes it a little bit warmer. If you keep doing it, it gets a lot warmer. You see all that just turned into steam, but there's plenty of water around here. So that will cool down in no time. So that's the heat gun. Radiation tool is new, and near as I can tell, it just makes a bit of high radiation. And then it dissipates. So maybe some other stuff is then radioactive, but yeah, that's all the radiation tool does. Adds a bit of radiation. Spawner is where you get duplicates, food. If you want berry sludge, I can then spawn in some berry sludge. Same thing if you want, a duplicant. If you want to dump in some of this stuff that's hard to sample. I have no idea what a heat cube is. No problem. A cube that holds heat. Okay, that's something I've not actually ever seen before. But okay, and so now let's take our heat gun. And we'll make all this nice and cool down the steam. Actually, make it bigger. Boom, all the steam just froze. See all the ice falling down. You also have clean floor. Whatever size of the brush, boom, gone. Destroy, we already covered. Destroy is just destroy everything in that size. So let's just do boom, gone. No debris, no nothing. Reveal should just reveal the map. If I do that. Interesting, it doesn't work on gravitas buildings. Neat. Learn something new every day. And then critter removal is exactly what it sounds like. Boom, critters are gone. You can then turn sandbox mode on and off. Once sandbox mode is on, boom, you build stuff, and there it is. Come on. Yeah. There we go. So that's kind of the basics on Sandbox. It's easy to get into, but it does alter your save game. Now, debug mode is a different thing. So debug mode you have to enable via a text file. So for those of you who are Unix users, you just need to touch a file called enable debug or debug enable. For Windows people, you just need to create a text file called that. So let's see if I can't grab that file window. Boom, there you go. Debug enable.txt. You put it in your oxygen not included data file, and that enables debug mode. In debug mode, you get a set of new commands. The other thing it enables is a developer generator. You can see here in my list of buildings, we don't see anything called the dev generator. If I hit Control F4, that enables quick build mode, and I now have a dev generator. And a dev generator produces 100,000 kilowatts. It's a little coffee mug heater. And that's it. It's just a way of producing an infinite amount of power. So Control F4 is the command to enable quick build. And with dev mode enabled, you also get all the potential material. So you see we don't have very much there. And then now if I go to like the temp shift plate, I can now build it out of stuff I haven't even seen, like pyrite. So control, touch the debug enable file and you get debug mode. Control Z, you've heard me talk about high speed mode. So we'll go down here into slow. Alt Z, sorry, not Control Z. Alt Z, you can see everything speeding up. All I'm doing is hitting Alt Z, turns on basically as fast as the game can go. The other big command is, what is it? So Control F2 will create a duplicate. So kind of like the spawner in Sandbox mode, if I just do where my cursor is, boom, duplicate. And then Alt Q, you see that box, that's where what I've got highlighted. And now the box is where my cursor is. If I do Alt U, no, sorry, Alt Q. Now he's over here. Select him, Alt Q, select him, moves him over there. Boom. Same thing with critters. If I grab that critter, Alt Q, he's now over here. So that is Sandbox mode. There's a couple of other commands, but Alt Q and Control F2 are the ones that spawn and move. Alt Z and Control U both turn on high speed mode. Alt F7 makes your dupes invincible. So if I come down here, and let's just take him there. Hassan is now about to be dumped in magma. And Alt F7. Oh, never mind. You fall down. Nope, fall down. Hold on, I gotta save in the middle of this. So yeah, he should be invincible. The other big command you get with debug mode that you don't get in Sandbox is this one, backspace. So let's just get you out of there. Now, this might look kind of similar to Sandbox mode, where we can come over here, we can grab a liquid. In fact, I had already typed in magma. Make sure you select it. You can then pick the mass and the temperature. Now this only does it in the one tile you click on. So if you want more, you make more. But because you can alter the temperature, by default, it'll come in at whatever the default material is. So magma, 1700. If I switch to ice, see that comes in at negative 41. So it automatically picks what it thinks the default is for that temperature. But I can do this, and this is in Kelvin. So if I do 273 of ice, that's now 0 degrees. So Kelvin, for those of you who've forgotten science, is 273 off of Celsius. So if you want 0 degrees Celsius, 273 Kelvin. If you want boiling, it's 373. I now have a block of ice that is 99 degrees. But I can also make that ice really hot. That is 1,000-degree ice. Now, obviously there wasn't a huge amount of it, so it all dissipates pretty quickly, but yeah, so you gotta be careful with this. You can make rock gas, no problem, if you go to spawn some obsidian and you don't pay attention to the temperature. So all the spawn, the picking of material all seems about the same. Sandbox mode, but it's this section over here. You have templates. And with those templates, I can now spawn. Yeah, we're gonna come up here into space. That is a hydrogen vent. So you can now spawn the geysers. So those are the geysers. You've also got the point of interest stuff. And this will overwrite anything. So there's the broken farm. You got the base game Gravitas building, which is a bit bigger than I want to deal with right now. So that's just one of the things you get from debug mode is you can spawn these point of interest buildings. And rough unused, I don't even know what some of these are. And sometimes you find some weird test stuff. Ah, that's them testing suit docks. But if you have your initial start. And with debug mode, you also have the destroy. You just highlight what you want. Boom. Now they've changed this a little bit, so let me check. So now, if I take my cursor, and let's say we highlight that, I can now do a save selection. And now we can clear it. And right now we can't paste anything, but here under my templates, what I just copied, boom, there it is. And it saves everything. The gas that was in there, the materials all that was made out of. Clear selection and destroy. Hopefully I didn't do that too fast. We'll go copy something else. So, oxygen system. So let's copy all of that. To system. So that creates a template file that I can then reuse and reuse. And boom, there it is. But if I don't want to create, really that didn't destroy all? Interesting. Wonder why I didn't destroy that. Clear floor gets rid of debris. But let's say I didn't want to make a template of something, I just wanted to copy something. So I can, look for at least something interesting to copy. Well, let's just say I want to copy this. So I want that pip and that shipping stuff. I have it highlighted. I can now just, boom, paste it. So I didn't save a template of that. I can't redo it once I hit clear selection. Oops, no, clear selection. Yeah, see, now I can't paste it. But like in debug mode, you do have to be careful because you can do something like this where I pasted it somehow over existing buildings. With Control F4 on, you can actually build rocket stuff outside, kind of, like it gives you the opportunity even though you can't actually connect it to anything. But you can also just deconstruct things and dig stuff. Deconstruct all. Why don't you deconstruct? You deconstruct. And then we can clear the floor. So that is kind of the basics of debug mode. The best thing about it is you can copy geysers, copy buildings, save templates for yourself to build stuff in new worlds, and you can go and grab point of interest and stuff the developers put in the game. Now you do have to be careful in high speed mode. I think that's what was screwing up my volcano over here, was I'd go into high speed mode to make stuff go faster, and then it wouldn't calculate the amount of material to drop, and I'd end up with a solid tile. What I found was this kept working no problem, and then I'd go into high speed mode in order to make the game go faster, and then I'd find out that I had, the solid tile was back over here. Really annoying. Oh, I somehow got that over there. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a primer for debug mode. You do have to create the file to enable it. Once it's enabled, it's always enabled in the game. It's up to you if you want to hit Control 4 and enable the buildings. So right now I have fast build off, so it just queues stuff up, and then Control F4, boom, build stuff. And then if you clear the floor, then they don't get any debris. One of the more useful things I find about sandbox mode, especially when I'm trying to show people how stuff is working, is you can just create a pile of debris next to where they're building. So let's say I wanted to build something over here, and I wanted to build it out of igneous rock and there wasn't any nearby. Default the temperature again. And you can make a giant tile of it. So that's one tile, but it's 250,000 debris. You dig it, it gets cut in half. And now there's a bunch of igneous rock over here that my dupes can grab and have them build without having to wait for them to run everywhere to go do it. And again, with debug mode, it is always available. It's just up to you whether or not you want to use it. With sandbox mode, once you enable it permanently in that map, it's now a sandbox save. So if I were to actually go back to the main menu, been a while since I've tried this, so I'm kind of curious. Yeah, so I've got this break right here because that's where I saved it before enabling sandbox mode. So I told it to save a backup so I could go back to before I enabled sandbox, and then it wouldn't be in sandbox mode anymore. Oh, that'll be tough to show here. Alright, well, once the game loads, I'll show you one of the other things debug mode enables. Alright, so the game is loaded. One other thing that debug mode enables is you can do instant skills and instant research. So let's see, who are we on right now? Camille. So Camille only has one research point, or skill point, but I can just do... Oh, I'm not in debug mode. There we go. Now, Control F4 is what turns on that. And so now I can just click on skills, even though they don't have any skill points, and give them all the skills I want. The same thing is true of research. If I hadn't done all the research, I could just click on a research and finish it. So that is debug mode and sandbox mode. Very useful when you're trying to build test systems. A lot of times while I'm waiting for dupes to do various things that take forever, I'll actually be up here in space testing things out in debug mode. So I'll have this on, I'll have fast build on, and I'll try like, oh, I want to build this and I want to have, I want to test out some sort of wacky automation thing. But if I just destroy this, then all that debris is there and that's cheating. But I can just do clear floor, build whatever I want, test it, destroy it, clear the floor so my dupes don't get any bonus while I'm waiting for them to do stuff, as opposed to going into a test map, doing it all in the test map, and then coming back to survival. So that's a lot of what I'm doing in the background when I'm not recording videos and you just gotta wait for dupes to do things, instead of taking all that time of just watching the computer do nothing. I'll build stuff up in space and then destroy it in order to find out better ways of stuff working. So thank you all very much for watching. Mayor O, hopefully that kind of gave you a little primer on the difference between sandbox and debug mode. Again, to enable debug mode, you have to create this file, the debug enable. If you just Google that, it'll show you exactly where to put it. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this building tips video, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next playthrough.